Dylan Priest develops virtual reality experiences as Director of Interactive at Electric Monk Media, which is also this building on the second floor. As an entrepreneur, game designer, artist, programmer, and filmmaker, Dylan works across disciplines to challenge, entertain, and teach people about the world around us.
Thanks. Since Callie introduced me already, I can skip a slide because I got a lot to try to pack in. Oh, you got it backwards. Want to do it backwards? We can do it backwards. That's good.
Oh,
do it backwards.
Yeah.
That's extra tricky. Is it rolling? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we want to end up.
Oh no!
Right? This is kind of what we're doing. So I want to try to make games that reverse that trend and can bring people together and to collaborate and kind of have an impact on the world. This is called the World Peace Game, and it's made for fourth graders, and they solved world peace in a week with it. They assign everyone, there's a prime minister for each little country, and it's all asymmetrical. Everyone's got different resources. Here they are here. It's a big, complex thing, but they deal with all sorts of very difficult real-world problems, and they all win or lose together. And I think that's a very important concept that video games have totally missed. So, and these guys could probably learn a thing or two from those fourth graders, because it seems to be that being able to work together on one common problem is something that it would be good for everybody. Okay, so we're going to start with the complex thing. This is birds flocking. And so the way I think that we need to approach this problem is we have to learn about how the environment works. And it actually often is, we have a hard time doing this kind of stuff because it looks very complex, like these. But you can model this kind of behavior. It's pretty simple in a lot of ways. And it's just a matter of putting some simple rules in place. So each little fish has its own little simple rules for how it aligns itself, but together it forms a much more complicated or a much more complex arrangement for the whole group. And this is, I think, a really interesting thing that I would like to incorporate into some game development. So this is fractals. We're starting at the end here. So you have clouds and some geographic coastlines. And this is a piece of broccoli in a galaxy. They all follow a pattern of self-similarity, which means that as you zoom in, you see the same pattern at each level. So the bottom, it's similar to the flocking, but it's for plants basically, and the terrain. And it has an amazing ability to produce these incredibly complex shapes, which you see in trees are a great example, where they go up, they split, they split, they split, and it keeps going, and that gives you an incredibly complex thing. If you zoom in anywhere on there, it will look the same as the whole structure, and it's a really interesting concept that I learned at the library, which is another great place to start doing your research. The first thing I do when I'm working on a project is I go and I take out a stack of books about that high and just dig through them. And I think that doing that research, you spend your time working on what you're working on, so you want to make sure you like it. This is Simearth, which is, as far as I can tell, the last time anyone tried to make a video game about saving the planet. They already have it. They have alerts. Sea level is rising and the ice caps are melting. That was 1992. So I think we maybe need to go back and relook at why we were making games in the first place. I put this here just to see the complexity of that scene. One of the reasons that games don't do a lot of nature stuff and are kind of the way they are, a lot of it has to do with technical reasons. It's just like the way the game engine works and the way the technology is developed, but I think it's getting to the point now where it can be much more powerful, and you can do things that you never could before. And this is basically modern games right here. These are 3 of the top selling games in the world. They all sold $1 billion worth, and I just think it really is sad, and I think that even though they're technical achievements in a lot of ways, it's a real waste of resources and a waste of people's time. There's one thing, I think Call of Duty, they said people spent 68,000 years playing it in the first month it was out, and I just think if we can take that energy and put it into something more productive, you know, I think we could have great results with that. So this is, we develop virtual reality experiences. This is Greg trying it out. And I think what's exciting about this is we're working with new hardware that has never really been around, and it gives us a chance to kind of, there it is there. It gives us a chance to sort of reboot and develop new ways of doing things. And I think that's really exciting because, you know, we can kind of choose new content and new ways to do things using the same technology. And this is our company, Electric Monk Media, and we do virtual reality. And
we get those plugs in.
oh yeah, nice. We even got the new logo on there. So yeah, I just think that there's ways we can do a better job with the tools we have. So thanks.